What do you honestly think about dating single moms? I was engaged to a single mom once. Met her son when he was 8 and he and I got along great. His dad wasn't all that active in his life, so he essentially became my stepson. I taught him how to ride a bike, coached football, took him to school/DR appointments, built rockets and launched them at the park, took him to Disneyland. The whole 9 yards. We all lived together for 3 years and one day, his mom, my girlfriend, decided to cheat with just a friend from her work. Needless to say, we ended the relationship and I never got to see him again. Poof. Just like that, the kid that I loved like a son was gone, and I had exactly zero right to see him again. It was the hardest thing I'd ever had to do. It ruined me. I hate her for what she did. I loathe her. I wouldn't cross the street to pee on her if her hair was on fire. Leaving her was easy. Leaving him wasn't. After that, I won't date single moms seriously again, unless her kids are significantly older, late teens. The risk of that hurt coming back to haunt me isn't anything that I think I could withstand again. Needless to say, we ended the relationship and I never got to see him again. Poof. Just like that, the kid that I loved like a son was gone, and I had exactly zero right to see him again. Man, I experienced that from the kid side. It is not fun, let me tell you. I would never even think of dating a single mom precisely because of the chance of that sort of thing happening. All situations being different. I'm curious how the single mom explains that to her kids. Been there, done that. I'm too young to deal with another person's kids. That's honesty. Some people can take it on, some people think they can and some won't. It takes the right person, time and circumstance. I don't even consider it an option. I don't think I'll ever be open to it, tbh. There's no way I could be a good father to someone else's kid. It wouldn't be fair to the kid or to me. Her daughter was 4 years old when we met. We were together about 6 years. She was a single mother and I was a single father. Biggest thing, how each of us corrected behavior in our children. She believed in the old way of spanking and admonishing bad behavior, while I strongly believed in talking to the child, praising good behavior, and going from there. But I don't do the hitting thing. I should have left earlier than I did, but I was gaslighted while I fought a debilitating disease thinking I didn't deserve better. Over a year later, and her daughter still comes to stay with me some weekends, and along with a week here and there during the summer. The first time she came over, she asked me why I still have pictures of her around the house. I told her that, although her mother and I aren't together, that doesn't change the fact that I raised and loved you as my own daughter. She cried and hugged me. Then we snuggled together to a movie. It was heartwarming. The thing is, she doesn't open up or really talk to her mom or actual father at all. And to my knowledge, I'm the only one in her life she feels comfortable opening up to about anything in her life. I've made sure she knows she's always welcome here if she ever needs a safe place, or just to be somewhere where she can go up to her old room and be by herself, since she shares a room with 3 others at her mom's house. Best thing to come out of a crappy relationship. For me, it's more the fact that there could be an ex whatever to throw a wrench in my life. I have zero interest in that. For me, it's more about the kid. I just don't have interest in living with one. I want to be a loving partner, but not a parent. I don't want kids. I'm not gonna raise someone else's. Yeah, if I'm not ready for my own kids, I'm not ready to take on stepdad responsibilities either. If I ever win the lottery or get 10 years older, that could possibly change. But for now, I'd really like to get back on that double income no kids bus. That S is ballin'. If my wife died, I would be looking at single moms as an option, because I would know that they would understand my priorities as a parent, and I feel there would be a higher likelihood that they would treat my son well. That said, step-parents have little to no rights concerning step-kids in the event of a breakup or divorce, so you're putting your heart at significant risk by getting attached to the children of someone else. I, as a single dad, tried to date a single mom. We had a couple of hot encounters, but between kids and jobs it was just too hard to schedule anything, and the relationship just fizzled out. I can imagine, even with 2 parents in the picture, my kid soaks up all of our time. Met my ex when her daughter was 3. I had a 9-year-old son. Broke up when her daughter was almost 10. I still see her daughter regularly and give her some pocket money each week. No regrets. Good on you. Lucky for her too. It's better than married moms. This married dad can curse. I've seen a lot of people say that you never should, and I'm sure that there are a lot of cases that it's true. My mother was 19 when she had me, 21 when she had my sister, and 23 when she divorced the man that fathered us both. When her and my stepdad got together, my sister and I were both very young, and he was only 21, my mom was 24. He became very close to me and my sister, and we both started calling him dad a few years in. Our biological father had left us completely and was living many states away. My dad stepped in and took us to every father-daughter dance, doctor's appointments, and became co-president of the PTA at my elementary school with my mom while they were both still in college. When they got married almost 7 years later, all 4 of us were sobbing messes. He is my best friend in the whole world, and I'm so grateful that he was willing to take a risk so young to be with my single mom that he loved. I've dated 2, both serious long-term relationships. The latest has a very sweet teenage daughter that I adore. I can't even understand most teenagers, but this one somehow speaks in full sentences and is a good person. Hahaha. Her mother and I broke up a while back, but we've been getting back in touch. I'm setting aside time and money to help her daughter get ready for college. I don't owe her anything, but she's family to me and I love her. She did nothing wrong, and it's heartbreaking to see a kid suffer because adults move on. I would date another single mom, but I'd make sure I had my life very well together, and I'd be far more observant of the relationship. I'm looking for a life partner at this point in my life, so I want to make quite sure I've taken my time to truly get to know a woman, especially if she has any kids, because I raise them as my own and don't ever want them ripped away. There are some amazing women out there that happen to be single mothers. I ignore all the stigma people assign them and judge for myself. A good person is a good person. That's some beautiful insight, you / fuck 1911. Thank you. Stupid name. Much life experience. I don't want children, so I wouldn't be able to commit to that. One of very few deal breakers for me. Won't even consider it. Yeah, the reason I paid for the Hinge app is that's the only way to get the option that filters out the people with kids. Apparently they can choose to not display this at all. I've lost count how many times I've matched with people who later in phone conversations would mention their kids. Oh, didn't it say on my profile? Ugh. Damn, that's unlucky. I haven't had that happen yet, but I have seen the doesn't have kids part blank and always assume that means they have kids. Tried it once. She used me to make her ex jealous. Wouldn't do it again. Granted, I'm married now. Oh, you're married? Name every couple on earth. Not for me. It worked out great for me. We married over 20 years, and just last year my stepdaughter bought me a car. Girl was 5 when I started dating her mother. Best part was I didn't have to do all that diaper changing stuff. Adult children are fine. Young children are a deal breaker. I'm not going to get involved in a child's life and be a father figure to them if I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to be that child's father for the rest of their life. If me and the mom broke up, I wouldn't be able to handle it. As a single father, I did not ponder dating until my son was an adult. I'm dating another single father now, and his son was also an adult when we got together. It works great for us. Wait, that was a bit unexpected, but good for you. We didn't expect it either, but life works in mysterious ways. Based on your username, are you a couple of 3? I don't want kids at all. Got snipped, so that's a no for me. But from my random sample size from talking to guys my age in their 20s, I'd say it's a coin flip whether that'll run them off. Having kids is a deal breaker, so it's a no from me. Terrible idea if you are a single dad. Go for it. But if you single with no kids, being a dad / father figure isn't easy. Single mothers often avoid single fathers. Always strikes me as ironic, like when obese women say they deserve fit men. Stunning and brave era we are. Dated a single mom. when I was younger. To be honest, I loved that little guy. He was 3 at the time and I did the best I could to help raise him. His mom and I ended up splitting. But I still think about him. It was 20 years ago, and in hindsight, I can freely admit that I was not ready to be dating a single mom. I was too young and immature. However, I would not trade the experience for anything. It teaches you an enormous amount about life and love. Now, I'm married, so dating a single mom isn't really in the cards as I don't plan on leaving my wife, ever. That said, I have no problem with a situation like that. Sure, there are complications, but my experience taught me that a whole lot of joy can come out of it. No, for starters, I don't even want a kid of my own, let alone another man's. I'm not here to clean up other people's messes. You'll inevitably get the "you're not my real dad" scream at you too. The first time my preteen, now 14-year-old, stepdaughter yelled this at me, I told her someday she'll understand why this really isn't an insult. Casually date? Sure. Seriously date? No thanks. Agreed. Many don't like being second priority to the kids. But if you are not looking for a full-time relationship, a mother won't be too upset that she isn't getting 100% of your attention, since she doesn't have the time anyway. I tried it once in my 20s. She was a bit strange. Kid was very nice, but she wasn't even supposed to have one. Invited me back to her place. We got there, and then introduced her son, who was about 6. I was weirded out. She told me this is a test to see if guys are alright around kids and are willing to date a single mom. Plus she gets no/few replies if she says she is a single mom. I saw it as a kind of test of honesty and she failed. I didn't go out with her again, or any other single mom. I wasn't ready to be a dad either. Hell, if she'd been honest, she might have / found somebody who was. She sounds delightful. Did it once. Never again. It was like breaking up with 4 people I loved at once. Hardest thing I've ever done. Getting WIU messages from her 8-year-old asking if I was coming back and if we could still be friends. Well, let's just say I'm struggling 7 years later. In my experience, they fall into 2 very different groups. The first group are amazing, loyal and appreciative. They are survivors of some very bad breaks in life or abuse. The second group are angry and toxic. Why they are single is obvious. Unfortunately, they cling to the same story as the first group, usually blaming men. The second group outweighs the former in numbers by 2:1. They are indistinguishable from the outside, which probably why men avoid them. My BF says the same thing. We've been together 3 years now and have lived together for 6 months. He didn't meet my kids until we'd been dating for just over a year and had several conversations about it and our relationship. To him, this was a green flag. My ex-husband was a true and actual abusive piece of S who didn't show his true colors until after the kids were born. Quite common. But the fact that my kids were always clearly my priority was a green flag. So I agree with you, and with him lol. My mom was a single mom, and she was a trash human being with horrible priorities, and fell into the second group easily. Feo. Been there. I'm there. Never works. You're always last in their priority. I understand the whole kids comes first, but that ends up to kids running your relationship and them believing kids lying over your word. You have to suck it up when kids misbehave or disrespect you and have all the responsibilities of a dad, feeding them, sharing bills, help them, etc. But you aren't entitled to discipline them or decide anything regarding to them. So basically just the downsides of parenting. Then there's the bit when S hits the fan and she decides to cheat on you on breakup, that you can't see the kids anymore. Kids you helped raise etc. Yeah. Seems like a lot of work when you could just be with, anyone else. It's all about the person. Some of them are really nice individuals and some are flaming train wrecks. Pick your poison. I'll take not the flaming train wreck poison, please.